What is up? Today I wanted to discuss with you, it's a cobweb. I wanted to discuss with you primal therapy. Does it actually work? What is primal therapy? If you don't know what primal therapy is therapy that involves releasing pent-up emotions through physical activity, usually screaming at the top of your lungs, stomping on the ground, breaking things, maybe working out heavy in the gym. That could all be considered primal therapy. Now, the question is, does primal therapy work? Recent studies have shown that primal therapy, in the past, the gurus would say, do this screaming for 1 hour and smash all these bricks and you will become calm and your anger will release from you in that moment. Well, it turns out that these primal therapy studies were researched more closely, and they found out that when the participants were doing these aggressive attacking motions, going through these emotions that would bring up anger, like the screaming at the top of your lungs, for example, it would actually make them more aggressive. Instead of lowering their aggression, it would make the person more aggressive, and it had little to no effect on making them calm. So, the question is, does it work? Does it work? Well, I've tried it a couple times, and I'm gonna go through my experience of it today. I was reading a book on chakras that my sister let me borrow. And in the book, it says, is an exercise to channel your solar plexus chakra to do some primal therapy. It said to, and I quote, stomp on the ground, close your eyes, and pretend there's lightning bolts crashing all around you, and start screaming at the top of your lungs. So I went out to try this today. It said to find a quiet spot where you know you'd be alone. And it's kind of hard now in this day and age to find a spot where you're absolutely alone. You're constantly surrounded by people. Well, I drove out to an old dumping ground at the outskirts of my city and drove to the dead end, and I parked my car, and there was actually businesses being built around there, warehouses. They were bulldozing the woods that was once there. And so I didn't see any people, but I saw some cars parked down the road, so I didn't feel completely alone, but it was as alone as it was gonna get. So I got out of my car. I was feeling nervous. I didn't want to have people worrying about the screaming that's coming from the woods. So I scoped out the area. I even scoped it out for homeless people to make sure I wouldn't startle anyone that might be living back there. So after giving it a quick scope and being within running vicinity of my car in case I had to make a quick escape from cops that showed up that were worried about screaming. I started stomping on the earth. That's the first thing I did. I closed my eyes, and then I envisioned lightning bolts crashing all around me. And during this whole time, it felt really weird and out of the ordinary, obviously, because we don't typically stomp on the ground and picture lightning crashing around us. What? I never pictured lightning crashing all around me and everything around me. So I pictured these lightning bolts crashing around me. And I had my eyes closed, and then I let out this scream. I took a couple deep breaths, and I screamed. I tried to let out all my rage, like, ah! And my voice cracked when I screamed. I think I really strained my vocal cords when I did it. And after that, I opened my eyes up, and I quickly walked back to the car, looked around, didn't see anyone, and then I drove off, and I put on Sweet Emotions by Aerosmith and jammed to that for a little bit. So right after I did it, I felt really silly. I felt like I'd strained my vocal cords. Like, my voice was hoarse after that. I was talking like a chain smoker. And I thought, did I really just take the advice of some unknown author who wrote a chakra book and take 15 minutes of my day to drive out to a woods and scream? And it kind of made me laugh. I laughed out loud and chuckled. And I can barely see where I'm walking. I'm wearing sunglasses at night too. My future's too bright to block out this light that's shining. Trying to get good sleep, people. It's not worth the emotional contact with you. My sleep is more important. Anyways, so I laughed at myself for that, and I ended up driving out to the beach, enjoying the sunset, South Florida sunset, beautiful. And honestly, I felt like the Primal Therapy didn't work. I was like, you know what, this research, it's saying it doesn't work. I don't feel like it really worked. But I will say that I have felt really calm and not very aggressive with people this evening. So I don't know. It's hard to say. You also can't confuse correlation with causation. So even if you're having a bad day and it starts raining, it doesn't mean that the two correlate. It's just a coincidence. So yeah, it's really, I'm gonna leave this question up in the air. Does Primal Therapy work? I really don't know. I'd say I'm neutral towards it. I'd say, you know what, I'd say you're better off meditating. I'd say you're much, much better off meditating than doing Primal Therapy. I think from my experience in meditation, and from what the research says, meditation actually decreases your risk of dementia when you get older, and it also has been known to lower stress levels, which is the prime goal of primal therapy, to lower your stress, to release anger. And you can do that through meditation. So that's it. Takeaway of this video, I'd say skip the primal therapy, go with meditation. Have a good night, folks, and keep on grinding. Keep on living life to the fullest. Life is short. The end is near. Peace.